Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. Okay, I just said the other day that I never get tagged in tag videos, and since then, I don't know, people must have listened to me or something because I got tagged in like 4 tag videos, and I'm so excited because I love doing them. And one of them just, like, literally just went up, I think, today. Yeah, it went up today, and I saw it, I got tagged in it, and I was like, I'm doing this, like, right now, because this is a really fun one. And it's from Cameron over at Wolf Shop Publishing, and he is a booktuber as well as an author. And so he did one from, like, an Authortube point of view, which is really interesting, because as a booktuber who is also an author, I have never heard of Authortube. Am I totally an idiot? I don't know. I just had never heard of it. And so I was like, this is really a cool thing. If you go back to my booktube videos like last summer, I did a whole series on like how to write a book and how to get started and how to get through writer's block and all that kind of stuff. And they're listed somewhere below in a playlist, I think. I don't know if I even knew how to do playlists then, probably not. Listen, I've grown up a lot on... Tomorrow is my 1 year on booktube and also my 1 year on YouTube. So I'm like super excited about it. And it's just been a really incredible journey. So to do this video tonight and to kind of talk about my book that I wrote, which really got me started on booktube, is a really cool thing. So anyway, his original tag is called Hollywood Authortube Tag. And it says underneath here, most writers dream of the day someone asks to bring their work to life. Here's your chance to put on that hat. And so it's really about like, okay, if someone approached you and wanted to buy the rights to your book, what would you do with it? And so he asked several questions in here. Go check his video out, the original. I will link it below. I love all of his videos anyway. He's just a really cool guy. So, and I've like found him a couple weeks ago, and he and I become quick friends, and I have like binge watched all of his videos. So anyway, there's only 5 questions, which I love because sometimes tags videos are like 30 questions, and it's like the video becomes 18 minutes long, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to know that much about you. I love you, but I don't want to know that much about you. So anyway, here is the book that I am choosing because it's my only published book so far. My second book will be coming out soon. But this is my book, The Before Now and After Then. And I'm going to read the back of it to you in case you know nothing about it, although I have marketed and promoted the book like we are beating a dead horse at this point, okay? Danny Goldstein has always lived in the shadow of his identical twin brother, Sam. But when a hurricane of events forces him into the spotlight, he starts to realize that the only thing he's truly afraid of is himself. With the help of his costume-changing friend Cher, a famous gay uncle with a mysterious past of his own, 2 aging punk rocker parents, and Rusty, the boy who will become his something to live for, Danny begins to realize that the music of the heart is truly the soundtrack for the living. So let's get right into this. Are you ready? Oh my God. Question number 1, would your book be a TV show or a movie? Well, like, I'm obsessed with Netflix, like, absolutely obsessed. I mean, if somebody approached me and was like, we would love to make a TV show out of this, I would be like, okay. But then my second question would be, what are you gonna do with it? Because, like, I mean, there's not enough to make a TV show out of it. I wish there were. Like, I would be willing to write more to the book and the story to make it into a TV show. But it's really very much a standalone movie if it were going to be one. So I would say a movie. And I can honestly, like when I was writing it, it was very visual for me. So I honestly could see this being a movie. Maybe even an after school special. Do they do those anymore? I love those. Number 2, would there be a sequel? Another season? Well, it's interesting because without giving away much of this book, it's about characters that are in their senior year of high school. I very much have believed, depending on if the book ever did well, which it's done okay. It's not a bestseller, let's be honest. But I would like to write a book like 4 years down the road when they're in college and follow up with where they're at. There's a lot of things that are just kind of left at the end. And I would like to see, I personally as an author would like to see where they're at like 4 years down the road in college. So yes, I would like to say that there will be a sequel. Number 3, which show or movie could it cross over with? Okay, when I watched his video originally, and go watch his video because it'll make a lot of sense, what he does with this question, I was like, oh my God, that would be so cool. Like what movie or, you know, but like, do movies cross over a lot? I mean, I guess they do with like, you know, like Halloween and Friday the 13th, or like, you know, what's the other ones that do that sometimes? Like the Batman ones. But I don't really see my book crossing over a whole lot with other movies, if it was a movie. I don't know, I just don't. And if you, like, it's interesting because if you read the book, there's a quote at the beginning that's also in the, there's little secrets in the book. So anyway, so no, I don't see it being a crossover with any other kind of movie or TV show. Who would you cast? Oh my God, who would I not cast? You know, when I was thinking about this, the hardest thing for me would be to cast the main character, Danny. I don't really know who I would cast in that role because there's not like tons and tons of young actors right now that I love that aren't totally typecasted. Does that make sense? I love the guy that played Clay in 13 Reasons Why, but let's just be for real. We're going to see him as Clay forever. There's actually a character, I don't know if you guys watch this show, shoot, now I can't remember, it's called like Redemption or something. Do you know about the guy that was in prison and then he gets out and he comes home? His younger brother would actually be who I probably would cast as Danny in the main role. But if I was smart, I would cast like Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, like I'm not stupid, right? Ariana Grande, I mean everybody would want to go and see that movie just because, I mean I'm not an idiot. But I'm very much like, as far as movies that I'm attracted to, I'm like in my head trying to think. I'm very much like, well, Danny's very innocent. So it would have to be somebody that could kind of play that off and be believable. Probably somebody that nobody had ever heard of before. Now, Rusty, who's in the book, if you've read the book, who plays his somewhat love interest, I would definitely cast the guy that plays Tony in 13 Reasons Why. Rusty is Latino, and when I saw him in the TV show, I was like, oh my God, that's Rusty. Like, that is totally Rusty, right? Cher, his best friend. It's interesting when I wrote this book, because if you've ever seen the movie Saved, with Mandy Moore, is that her name? Susan Sarandon's daughter is in that movie, and I always saw Cher as her. Like, that's kind of who I imagined in my head. Now, if I could cast her back 10 years ago, I would totally play Lena Dunham as, from Girls as Cher in the book. The mom and dad, the mom I always saw kind of as Holly Hunter. Do you do this if you're a writer? Like, as if anybody's calling. Hello? Hello? Sure. $10 million? How about 11? Okay, sure. Okay, yeah. Oh, I can cast whoever I want. God, I wish, right? I mean, that's every writer's dream. But anyway, Holly Hunter I always kind of saw as a mother. And the dad, it's interesting. I don't know, like, who I see the dad as. Probably like if I could just go and dream big, like it's not gonna happen, right? Did you ever watch the show My So-Called Life? The dad in My So-Called Life would totally be the dad in the book. And then the uncle, Alex, who plays a huge part in the book, it's weird because I always saw him as David Levithan, the writer. So I probably would call up David and be like, hey David, it's Peter. Yeah, it's good to hear from you too. Hey, would you like to be in my movie? Oh, you're not an actor, you're just a writer. I know, but could you push the limits, please? Okay. I mean, I'm a little obsessed with David Levithan if you didn't know. But anyway, he's always the writer that I kind of saw a mix as the author, uncle, a mix between Benjamin Alire-Sainz and, I always butcher his name, and David Levithan. I know they're completely polar opposites, but that's like kind of who I saw as a mix. So, yeah. And then Pat, who plays the bully in the book, I don't really know, but his career would be over anyway, right? Because when you play a huge bully like that in a movie, I mean, your career's over. You're typecasted forever, right? Like that poor boy in 13 Reasons Why, he will never get another job as long as he lives. So anyway, I think that's about who I would cast for those roles. Just call me when you are ready to do my movie. And then the fifth, well, I will tell you who I would direct. This is crazy because this goes into the movie. I would totally have David Lynch, who did Twin Peaks and Wild at Heart and all those movies. I would have him direct it. And then the last question is, who would do the music? Well, he always has, I can never remember that guy's name, like Andre Badalamenti or something like that, but his music is like really eerie and loungy and spooky. I would totally cast him. And even though David Lynch and that musician would have like totally do nothing for my book, because my book is not, I mean, It's Frappuccinos and Unicorns, folks, okay? It's not Twin Peaks, but I wish it were. So anyway, but I would love to see what he did with it, that he would take this very sweet, innocent story of grief and coming of age and first love and all of that and turn it into something really dark like Twin Peaks. I kind of live for that idea a little bit. So anyway, that's what I would do. That was a really fun tag. Oh, Cameron, good tag. Okay, now you can tag whoever you want to tag in this. But I am going to just tag one person, and I have a feeling she won't do this, but you know, this is another obsession of mine besides David Levinson, okay? I am completely obsessed with Lainey at Ginger Reads Lainey, and I know that she's been writing a book because she has been tweeting it out like crazy! So anyway, I am going to tag Lainey at Ginger Reads Lainey. I love her so much. I have never met her. I'm like dying to meet her in person and hang out with her and have her be my good booktube Judy. You heard it here first. So anyway, I'm gonna tag her and yeah, I think that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a really fun tag for me to do. I love doing tag videos. They get me like out of my mind and thinking about all different kinds of stuff. So thank you. Go check out the original. I'm linking it below. Go subscribe to him. We should subscribe to every booktuber out there and support each other. Why not? It's free, right? And yeah, and do the tag. He said it's for everybody. He wants everybody to do it. So if you've even read a poem, I mean, turn your poem into a movie, right? Window, Pendo, Sendo. I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.